Hi, welcome to a game that's being run on the Open Hearth gaming community. We're running Passion de la Passions today, set in the Star Wars universe as part of the Star Wars Saturdays mini convention of May the 4th to May the 8th, if we're honest, 2023. And I've never run Passions de la Passions before. I don't know if anyone's ever run Pasiones or the Passions in Star Wars, and I certainly don't think anyone's ever run Passions or the Passions um, set on an Imperial Star Destroyer before, because I'd probably have gone for the Galactic Senate if I was thinking for the easy option. But I thought the Empire would be more fun. It may have been informed by playing a bit of Star Wars Squadrons as the Imperials for a bit, right? And TIE Fighter being one of the best games ever. But yeah, so the pitch for this experiment is that, in the world of Star Wars, the Empire is well aware that it's losing hearts and minds across the galaxy. People think working for Order and the Empire just makes you some sort of non-human, like non-sentient. They think of stormtroopers as nothing more than bland cannon fodder who, have no personalities or inner world whatsoever. A member of a small department of the ISB's propaganda unit has a bold and very controversial idea. Holonet series that explores the lives of the Emperor's Fervor, a fictional Star Destroyer whose mission is to bring order to the beleaguered citizens of the Gambetta Reach, a region beset by pirate queens, unsanctioned slavers, and the unceasing terror of rebel scum. So it's the Empire propaganda unit that's kind of been done by a guy who hasn't really thought this through, has very little oversight, and has produced a slash fic fantasy about what the Empire is to try and sell it to the wider world and sort of win hearts and minds. Sadly for that ISB agent, the series is probably short-lived, as soon as anybody watches it, he's probably taken out back and executed, and it becomes a censored material. But it lives on the Holonet in its many fans, cult status, basically. So that's this. It's slash fic from the Imperial Security Bureau. It's an ersatz kind of empire. It's sort of like a militaristic, like original series Star Trek meets Battle of the Planets type anime kind of thing. Think like big pirate queens and like damsels in distress who are local monarchy, desperate for the Empire to save them from the chaos that was left behind by the decadent Republic and those horrible separatists. It is all the propaganda that they need to be how they are represented in the TV show Andor, which is, the grim, gritty, actual reality of the Empire. So yeah, and I would say that we're not going to rule out that maybe that writer's room had some rebel tendencies slipped into it, right? So it doesn't all have to be in the taking the fascists at their word kind of stuff. It can slip in some subversive comments. But anyway, that is the pitch. It's probably maybe a bit too bizarre to actually work, but we will see. So we are playing with lines and veils and all the safety tools of the Open Earth Gaming. I will not go into them. We are playing in the Code of Conduct. You can find that on the website. But everyone here I've played with loads of times, so we've already talked about all of it. We've already set all of those things, and I'm just going to go straight to having our players introduce themselves, their character, and tell me what their rank and role is on the ship. Everything's pretty open on the Emperor's Fervor, the last hope of the Gambetta sector. I will go in character keeper order. So, Rich, if you'd like to introduce yourself and your character.
Absolutely. That was weird. Okay. My name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and I am playing Major Wal Marrero, who also uses the he, him pronouns. His rank is Major. The playbook is El Jefe, or the boss. He has a group of thugs, which are his team, a small crew ready to enforce his plans, about 4 to 6 people. I will be giving them names as we go. For now, they are as yet unnamed. They do not wear red shirts.
Can I? Oh,
Yes.
so you're not going to go with the the 6 members in like stormtrooper helmets and uniform, or like Imperial and guard mask kind of thing. There'll be 6 discrete crew members as opposed to 6 interchangeable security guards.
Oh no, 6 stormtroopers sounds great. I'm there. Yes, I'm with that. That 6 stormtroopers, and they all have incredible aim, and they're all highly trained, extremely skilled. I let's see. So Major Wal Marrero is skilled with his thugs. He also can demand what he deserves, and if he has the physical upper hand, then he can force additional conditions if folks refuse. And he has the move Bitter Rage. If he has the condition Raging marked, he gets an extra +1 bonus to strike out.
Nice. Thank you, Rich. Next up is Keith.
Hi, my name is Keith. I use the he, him pronouns, and I am playing La Empleada playbook, the employee. And I figured, hey, why the Kark not try something more experimental than just Star Wars passions? So I am playing it as a droid, ID-11, prototype probe droid. They have some very impressive technology, the finest in the galaxy, which I'm sure will be brought up as a writing point because the Empire wants you to know that, but also some glitches that haven't entirely been worked out. So there may be some unexpected complications with this probe droid. And there are 2 potential masters, or suitors, the playbook calls them, but we've worked it a little bit more for loyalty, respect, and obedience. I think technically ID-11, and folks let me know if this is cool, was assigned for Major Marrero, but also is interested in what Cat Break is up to. We'll see if that works out, but it did have me pick them. I want you guys to have some consent with that, though. Mm-hmm. And my thing is, I'm always where I'm not supposed to be, and I'm always seeing things I shouldn't be seeing. Seems like that works out pretty well for a probe droid, but I'm also telling people I probably shouldn't be telling. So we'll see how that works out when classified information becomes suddenly unclassified.
Nice. And then Stephen.
Hi, my name is Stephen. My pronouns are he, him, and today I'm playing Cat Rake, pronouns she, her, and Cat is the revenge playbook, and always about sticking with her plan. Cat was an officer and was brought into the Empire as an officer due to her family's status. She was basically a non-commissioned officer, and she was running an illicit gambling ring and was knocked down into the pilot corps. And she's looking for revenge on who did that, but she's not sure who it was. So I have connections in with officers, like potential manipulation points and things like that. And I have some money that I skinned off the top of the ring that I did. I have a couple of moves that probably involve other people. One is at the beginning of the session, I pick someone I want revenge on, and then I also have an ally that I've sworn to secrecy, and I'll go over that whenever we deal with relationship.
Cool.
Questions.
Can't wait. I love that. Even a show that is piece of Imperial propaganda has bad guys of the Empire, right? The people to show you like that the other people are trying to keep them to do the right thing. And finally, David.
Yeah, hi, I'm David. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing tonight Flight Lieutenant Val Casto, who goes by the call sign Arrow, also uses he, him pronouns. Val is in the El Vividor, or Playboy playbook. He's a handsome young fighter pilot who's kind of got that look partway between sort of roguish charm and looks like he should be in a boy band. Just the right level of, there's been focus tested to do well on the Holonet market. He's yeah, like I said, an ace fighter pilot, a member of Tempest Squadron. Sorry, do I mean Tempest?
Yeah.
Tempest
Yes.
Squadron, yeah.
Uh, you know, kind of as I described earlier, kind of a bit of a sort of Starbuck thing going on where, you know, he lives large, you know, when he's not in the pilot seat, but obviously still in a way that doesn't bring too much disrepute to the Imperial Navy.
Nice. That leads me to a question, actually. Is Kat, do we think, a member of a Tempest Squadron or Ardor Flight?
I think she would be in competition with Val.
Mhm.
So probably probably a part of Tempest Squadron with him,
Mhm.
so that we're competing against, you know, trying to be top.
Yeah, you're in an even smaller competition than you would be if you were just on the rival. You know, like there's obviously competition between those squadrons, but yeah, now you're in the smaller, even smaller competition of your own squadron. Perfect. Cool. Well, that is all of our characters. So let us go back around for relationships. El Jefe, if you would like to choose one of those two relationship questions and put one for ask or suggest.
All right.
I would like everyone to choose a. You can do it as a triangle. You could choose an NPC, but like if someone chooses an NPC, try and somebody else choose the same. You know, build on that with somebody else choose, because I do find triangles work quite well. You know, like two of you choose the same NPC as well as, but you can also choose a player, right? Because that directly puts you in contact with each other.
I think Major Wall Marrero, the first relationship. Should I do both, or just we're going to do one and then
Do one and
week
then
order?
we'll come back around again.
Okay. I think checking in, David, if it's cool with you. Oh, what's Arrow's? Is he a lieutenant?
Yes, yeah, like a flight lieutenant. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how the Star Wars ranks work, but he's, you know, a flight officer rather than in any position of command.
Lieutenant Casto is an object of beauty I have sworn intention to possess.
Nice.
You cool with that?
Yeah, no,
David,
that's
is
great.
that okay? All right, good.
ID 11.
Before I do one of the official relationships, let me check with Rich and Steven. Are you cool being the suitors / masters for this droid?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Rich, good. Okay. So I'll leave those as it is. And currently Wall is my love. So that means some things mechanically between us.
Yeah.
Gosh, that one's easy. I think I will go with the easy one then, because I am assigned to Major Marrero, looms large in your life as your employer.
Yeah.
Do that one first, then leave the interesting one for second.
Yeah,
I think
cool.
it's appropriate to have El Jefe as a boss, so thank you.
Yeah.
And you've got goons. Don't forget the goons, Rich.
Oh, it's true. But you're more
I'm no
important than the
goon.
goons. You're no goon.
Okay, so Cat break.
Yeah. My question is, blank is the one person you're sure shouldn't be the target of your vengeance, and I'm going to say that's ID 11.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
ID 11 is actually my confidant. Yeah, and we'll talk about that later. Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Sweet.
that. I just the idea of your confident being a spy droid is like the best thing. David?
I think I'm also going to go for ID 11 for my first one, which is ID 11 is my good luck charm. Things just go right when they're there. It feels like an appropriate Star Wars droid relationship.
It does. It also makes a nice little relationship between the other three characters, right? Like El Jefe demands it. La Vengaza might want to take it away because it's your good luck charm, right? Like, I'll have another factor for it. Yeah, great. We'll back around then to Rich.
Excellent. My second and final checking in with you, Stephen, if it's okay if Again, is Breach, is she also a lieutenant? Or was she busted down a rank?
Let's say she's a lieutenant. I'm not sure about ranks, so I'm not sure. But yeah, let's say lieutenant.
Okay.
Yeah.
I found a Star Wars Mush wiki. I have no idea if it's real, but if we want to look at that and have something to look at to use, there you go.
I mean, I'm happy to just do rank as in like,
Sure.
just tell me relative to the other person, right? Because that Star Wars ranks are nonsense. Anyways, like
They
we
are.
I
answer
might have
with a
actually,
general within 5 seconds. You know, like for what?
Lieutenant Breach has been a thorn in my side and a constant irritation.
I might have actually played in that mush like 20 years ago. That's
That's amazing.
And there was definitely one.
That makes it so worth it that I threw that link up there. Then there you go, payoff.
Okay, so 11. Do you have a?
Yes. My second one was the first person who was nice to you, despite your humble beginnings, which I'm going to take as experimental prototype, being the humble beginnings. So accepting of all of the quirks and bugs, and I'd like to go with Arrow, if that's cool with you, David. Also gives me a good reason to be around you, even though you're not one of my potential masters.
Yeah, I like it. Built up that relationship back when you were couldn't do anything but beeps and boops before you had the voice synthesizer put in and everything. Okay, break.
I think if you're okay with it, Rich, the Major Wal Marrero was the mastermind of my downfall.
Oh yeah,
And
I was hoping you're
to watch everything burn.
Really excited that you're picking up what I'm pulling down. It sounds good. Yes, bring it.
And that leaves David. Who would be fun if they just let go?
I mean, this obviously has to be break. You know, I've definitely it's got to be one of those situations where, you know, break sees this as a sort of like rivalry, and you know, Custer's just laid back and is like, yeah, whatever.
Hey, of course I sold you out to the thing that the only way I was going to get into the interceptor squadron, right? Good deal. You'll get your chance to sell somebody else out. That's just the way it is. I like it. But for me, it was a Tuesday. Yeah. So I think that's everybody. Does anyone have any playbook moves that they need to answer yet? Still outstanding.
So I have a move that is called Sworn to Secrecy, and this is I pick an ally, and I'm going to pick ID 11 if you're okay with that, Keith. And this is I brought in on my plans for revenge, and as long as you keep my secret, you can switch my playbook. It says they may switch your playbook question with any question on a move they make. Okay, so we'll have to figure out how that works because I'm not exactly sure how that works.
So you've got your plan, right? And your plan is this: you're looking for revenge on the people who wronged you. At the moment, the way you frame that is that you don't know who it was, so you're sort of generally taking revenge, right? But probably with the intention of finding out who it was. That seems to be your plan as defined, right? So
Yes.
that means that ID 11 in any thing can always replace any question with does it in some way go towards that end, you know, identifying.
Okay. So if I'm making a move, I can use that question to help out what breaks to. Okay. I was getting lost in the pronouns there.
Yep. The rest of it is if you're about to spill my secret, I can mark a condition to stop it. And afterward, I can set up a new scene to confront you. If you betray me, I strike your name and gain one hold of the plan to use against you at the start of every session. Something like that.
Yeah.
I also...
yeah, you need to roll at the beginning of each session for the plan, don't you? Don't let me forget that as we start going. Yeah. Cool. Do you have another question that you need to answer?
The second one is the start of session roll.
Oh yeah, well we'll do that when we get to the actual dice rolling then. Cool.
Okay.
Right. Well, that anybody else got anything else? Last chance. Forever hold your peace. I'll never give you another opportunity in this whole game. Okay. Cool. So let's move over to the locations playset, and we'll just answer these, and then we'll take our first break. So role questions. So we have these different roles: most manipulative, biggest heartbreaker, most jealous, most roguish, most powerful, most downtrodden. You know, I could assign these to you, and I think the book says that like you should assign it to them, but I'm more interested, I think, in doing it from back to front in the keeper. So starting with Stephen, which of those calls out to you? Which one of those do you think defines your character? You know, in terms of like out of this cast, which of them are you?
I'm probably the most jealous. What
Hmm,
makes you think someone on the ship is a rebel spy?
nice. So, what makes you think someone on the ship is a rebel spy?
I think in digging around trying to find out who turned me in, I found more and more of people's secrets. And I think I knew a lot of secrets before because of the gambling ring. You know, this person owed money, this person was into drugs and that kind of stuff. But I think I found out more and more of people's dirt. And I was like, oh, he's got a sister that he didn't put down on his records. Why not? Kind of thing.
Hmm,
Yeah.
okay. Who is it?
Oh. Um, um, let's
I mean,
actually
I think if you wanted to say that, like, you generally suspect a rebel spy among the crew, that's a different piece of. But if you name a piece of evidence that's directly connected, like hidden family records, that's a person, right?
yeah. Um, who would be interesting? So far, I think we've got a good point for all of the PCs. Let's
Yeah, I
point
think, yeah.
towards um you said it'd be good to have triangles. Are there any other questions that point towards
We have in Imperials, we have the ISB agent, the bridge crew, Lieutenant Quiros, the Moff Truman, and then the two commanders of the different squadrons, and also a corporate executive from the Imperial Corporation, Beshtek.
so one of the questions is that's coming up is what leverage do you have over the Moff? I'm going to put down that the Moff has family records that aren't public.
Okay, so you're gonna take the
I'm going to take the most jealous and the rebel and the suspicious person is the Moff himself.
you suspect the Moff himself. Oh my god, that's huge. That is taking me up on that. Choose the most dramatic option at all points. So kudos there, Stephen. Okay, so suspects the Moff of rebel sympathies. Okay, so that then we go to. I didn't do it in reverse character keeper order. Sorry, David. I completely screwed that one up. David, you first. You next. You second, even now that I've messed that up. Simple task.
Not a problem at all. I'm torn between the most roguish and the biggest heartbreaker. I think I'm going to go for I think it's got to be the pirate queen, Tavaronic. That I'm going to go for biggest heartbreaker, and yeah, I'm going to go for
Obviously, she flies. She's a hotshot pilot as well, right?
of course, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I think it's what convinces me that she could be. What makes me think that I can convince her that they're misguided to resist the Empire is that she
I mean, it
she
can-
seems to be more she's concerned with proving that she's the best, and obviously, you know, what's better than the Imperial Navy. So you know,
Yeah.
she'd clearly be more at home in the Imperial Navy than she is, you know, with her petty piracy.
Yeah. The Pirate Queen could be a powerful asset for the Empire. kind of.
Exactly.
Cool. And then Rich. Right? No, Rich is first, isn't he? So it's Keith. Keith,
I'm
there we go.
okay.
I think I'm fourth first.
Oh, first. Yeah.
You're the first one to
You
go
can just
fourth.
Click back to the actual page to see what it was. But no, there we go.
I was going to ask you if there's one you prefer, actually, Rich, because I have answers for two of them. So if there's one that you're hoping gets to you, let me know.
Since I'm playing a thuggish person, I definitely don't want most powerful because that seems to undermine the idea of him having thugs.
Okay.
So I was thinking.
So most powerful is
Is that
you know,
right?
it makes a special point of saying that it's actual power, right? So like it's not like perceived power, right? So if you were playing the Moff and somebody had leverage over you, you wouldn't actually be the most powerful person, right? But you might be
Right.
the most powerful person, but behind the scenes, you know, because like on paper, you can't.
Right.
But
I understand. Yeah, I think
it explicitly says that in the book, like when I was reading through about this question. So I want to be clear.
Oh, well, thank you. I think that's where I was thinking it was, and I don't want my character to be actually the most powerful.
Yeah.
That's why he has thugs. That's why he's running around doing stuff. If you're actually powerful, you know, he'd get what he wanted and wouldn't have to resort to violence. So I was leaning towards, to answer your question, Keith, I was leaning towards most downtrodden and trying to think of a controversy.
Awesome. Those were the two that I was thinking of. So you have made my choice. I have most powerful. What leverage do you have over the Moff? The Moff has been sending coded communications to an unindexed receiver. It is not in the Imperial Registry, and I would know.
Nice.
And the writer of this series so got killed.
Yeah, it's like this is not good propaganda, but it's a good setup.
Yeah. This is obviously like they were told to humanize it, and they were like, well, dramatize it, turn in, you know, people want conflict, romance, passion. And then some very stern-faced person in white took one look at it, watched the whole thing without blinking, and then clicked their fingers. And two stormtroopers came into the room and just pulled them away. But you know, rumors, legend has it that they're still out there hiding members of the Rebel, you know, producing it to this day. So what controversy mars your reputation then, Major Wall? And controversy, I think, in this sense, is we've seen how brutal the Empire actually is to people who fail. You know what I mean? So it could just be not succeeding at something is a controversy in the Empire, right?
Yeah, I like that. He let the Pirate Queen escape.
From a prison cell?
Yeah. She slipped through his fingers.
Or something. Yeah. Let the Pirate Queen escape.
A previous episode.
Yeah.
I'm wondering in which sense you're using let, like permitted or failed to stop, or who knows?
Does it matter for that kind of controversy? I'm sure the rumors are high, and maybe that's discovered in play, or maybe it's just out there.
I like it. Okay. So I think that's all of the starting questions. We will now take if we did a 10-minute break and then we played through, and we can always take a bio break if anyone needs it. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Then I don't know if you want to pause the recording, but otherwise I'll see you. So the episode of the passions of the Empire begins. The passion of the Empire begins. It starts off with Imperial text going up on the screen a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It doesn't say that, of course, because it's the Empire. So what am I saying? What it actually says is the Gambetta region in capital letters. That spot, that erratic capitalization of the Star Wars opening titles. Sector beset by rebels, separatists, and scum. The only hope for these people, the brave men and women of the Emperor's Fervor. And as the titles swell up, there is like the anime rock version of the Imperial March coming up over a title screen of a civilian transport vessel under attack by pirates. Civilians looking panicked, looking out their view screens as a gloating alien figure comes in for the attack. And then suddenly, out of hyperspace, comes the Emperor's Fervor, a TIE pilot swooping into the rescue. It cuts across to the bridge of the Fervor as, against the odds, surrounded by the overwhelming force of the rebel scum. You see the serious look of the Moff and the bridge crew as they look out, against all the odds, steely-eyed, determined to fight back against, the chaos that threatens to overwhelm the sector. And as the music swells, we see the parade ground of stormtroopers showing the elegance of and the might of the Empire on the ground. And then it cuts to the personal lives of these people, two pilots staring at each other across the sabak table in the, official licensed officers sabak game, of course. And a grateful planetary monarch that we saw on that transport vessel, swooning in the arms of a TIE fighter pilot who takes off his helmet, and bends it down low like the Captain Kirk thing. And then across, the twin stars above are blocked out by the Emperor's Fervor as it soars over the atmosphere, and it looks up as the music swells, and we come into the first episode of our first episode of the series, midway through the series, I imagine, in the actual framing of Passion de la Passions. And I think the cold open for this episode is the Moff Truman's shuttle has departed from to pick up a trade delegate, Osim Beshkin, who is coming to visit the planet of Jazane 5, the former sectoral government seat, to negotiate with Ambassador Doran there, the local representative, under the Empire's watch, and try and come to some agreement on the exploitation of the moon. And ID-11 and Major Wall, I think, are on that shuttle as it comes in with Moff Truman there. I think you've got Ambassador Doran, you've got Asim. Major Wall is perhaps, the bodyguard of the Moff for this trip. The Moff sitting regally with his the higher ups among them. When a red light goes off and the pilot turns around and goes, Major Marrero, there's something coming up on the long-range sensors. It's the rebels, sir.
Rebel scum? Well, we'll show them what for.
I'm meeting a Corvette and three squadrons of X-Wings.
And I think at that point, I will raise 4 of my arms to indicate you are incorrect. It is 4, actually, at this point.
4.
My advanced scanners indicate 4, Lieutenant.
Good work, ID-11. Thank the Emperor that you're here. And Moff Truman says, Marrero, I want options.
Wow. Awesome. So, quick question. I'm looking through the moves and just looking at my options. What do we have on our side of this? Because it sounds like a Corvette and that many squads.
You're in a shuttle, and you have a
that's what I thought.
Comms, with which you could reach out to the Emperor's Fervor, call in for support, distress signal.
Who's the pilot?
Give him a name.
Oh, okay.
Because it's
That's
an imperial ship, right? So there are so many people and extras running around that I named like 5 people, basically.
awesome. I love that you've named 5 people. That's appropriate. And it should not be Break or Arrow
It could
because
be.
they could come in and rescue. So
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I take that
I was
away from
thinking
them,
that.
I
Yeah.
don't love that. So we will look in the names and sorry, I'm stutter stepping in here. Let's see. Incals. Lieutenant Incals. I'll drop it in chat. I'm just grabbing one of the names from Lieutenant Incals. Take us closer to the Fervor. We need to call in for support. He'll say,
Setting the course, but and it sways. Long range tractor beam. I'll try and shake it off. You gonna call in for support?
yes. ID
Yeah.
11. Which squadron should we call upon?
The calculations indicate that the Tempest Squadron would be able to arrive the fastest, and they are the more efficacious of the two, in my humble opinion.
So
And just to
And-
make sure, that's the one that you two are in, right? Okay, just to make sure I didn't screw that up for you.
That would be awesome.
So you guys are going to call for help from the bridge. You get in touch. You get through to Lieutenant Quiros, who comes in on the comms and says, "I'm afraid that we're bringing the Fervor now. We'll deploy. We're on our way in hyperspace. We're with you shortly. Hold them off. Well, don't worry. We'll deploy in standard formation 5-4-2-1 with waiting for full backup before we engage."
Quiros! Emperor's sake, we have the Moth aboard! You mobilize everything needed. Bring the turbo lasers online. Take out these rebel scum. And I'm demanding what I deserve.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that I'm offering, maybe offering something of value. Will remember this, right? You've been called out and as a critical member of this
Yeah.
this moment. But
you
I
very
don't
much.
think they love me.
I don't think they love you now. They might do after, depending on how you spin this, right? Are you taking control of the situation?
I'm trying to.
I think
That's
you
my
are.
goal.
As much as is available to you, you know?
Yeah. And let's see. I am definitely not a meltdown. I can't use my thugs. I'm demanding what I deserve, and I don't have the physical upper hand, so I don't think that makes sense either. And I'm not raging, so it's just +1. Is that right?
Seems to be it, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Rich, I thought you decided +2.
Did I?
You're offering something of value in return, and you're taking control.
Oh yeah, it should be +2. Sorry.
Oh, where's the taking control part of it?
That's your playbook.
Question.
Oh, shoot.
That's an
idiot.
always.
I'm a dum-dum. Thank you very much for that help.
Anything, sir.
A 9 to 10 on a
Yeah.
hit.
Oh, the target chooses.
Yeah, the target chooses the NPC. They concede to you, they can clear a condition, they refuse and escalate, they mark a condition. So they're going to mark a condition. But them, I think I didn't get to the part in the book with the NPCs marking conditions, but what I think it is that what they're going to do is they're going to panic, right? They'll say, but the Moth left standing directive 451, we have to deploy in order. And what they're escalating from is you'll have to persuade them, convince them, sell them on like give them the honey, not the stick.
I have to adjust my offer to get what I want. Is that what's up on the table here?
Yeah, because they refuse and escalate, right?
Son of a gun.
I feel like so they're escalating by saying that we can't do it because of an order.
Yeah, because they've got standing directives, right?
I mean, I
Oh,
think
just
the
standard
thing
procedure. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that it's they won't, right? Like we're not gonna have you try to change your offer and reconvince them that you're on your own. You got to
Yeah,
get
it's
out of
more
this
that,
if you're such hot Kark.
yeah. I think if they refuse the escalated market condition, all I'm saying is that like because you demanded what you deserve with like taking control of the situation rather than like you scratched my back off, rather than offering
Yep.
them some,
It
you know.
feels good. I'm
Because I
into
also
that.
draw you guys' attentions to every NPC as I just realized I wrote over what it is, right? So like if you look at the NPCs tab, they've all got like their name, their pronouns, and then I should have left in something to say that's their hook. That is how you
Oh,
gain the allegiance of an NPC, basically,
oh,
right? Um, they've each got a different trigger for gaining their allegiance. So Lieutenant Quiros, for example, is you take the blame for her or you give credit to her, you know?
okay.
Uh, and the Moff is you prove your loyalty to the Moff and the Empire in that order, not the Empire first, the Moff first, you know?
hmm
And when you've got that, that allows you to trigger the move, but also makes them like friendly NPC in terms of like framing scenes and stuff, you know, like you can rely upon them to be like in some way in your kind of narrative wheelhouse versus other people's narrative wheelhouses, right? Like,
Yep.
yeah. Which I think might be a new thing for Pasiones. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, that's it. So what's going to happen is, I think as it stands, you know, they are going to deploy like that, right? And we're going to cut over to as the Corvette comes out and the X-wings come racing past, and there's a couple of blasts rock the shuttle, and Eno's shakes. The panel explodes, you know, and he goes flying back across the shuttlecraft, and he looks up at ID-11, and he says, "Are you recording this? Tell the commanding officer I tried for the Empire." And he passes out from the pain. You know, as a Corvette comes in, and we have the reverse of the the Corvette being taken by the Star Destroyer at the start of A New Hope, right? Like as the Star Destroyer goes over it, we have instead this Corvette open up a shuttle, a tractor beam bay, and it starts to suck in the Imperial shuttle inside, and the Moff begins pulling out a special blaster pistol as the Fervor hyperspaces in far on the outskirts of this, and we cut to the hangar bay where Commander Conway and Commander Brachia are arguing over who gets to deploy first from the hangar bay. Break, Casto, do you want to intervene in any of this here?
I think I just hop into a tie. I'm like, we argue who gets to deploy first. I'm like, I'm done with this, and I hop in and launch.
The guys with the things, the old-fashioned aircraft carrier people with the two torches, like duck out of the way as you hit your engines and you go out of the ship racing ahead. I think that's going to put you, I think, as Casto. I'm imagining is jumping into his thing hot on your heels.
Yeah, absolutely. Casto, may have taken the opportunity to try and intervene in the conversation between the two commanders, but as someone else has taken the initiative, he's going to leap on the tail of that.
Cool. Right. So, yeah, the sky is filled with X-wings. The blips are coming in close. What you reach target distance with the X-wings. What do you do, Casto, as a target lock is on you? How are you gonna? The shuttle is disappearing into the bay of the Corvette. As these X-wings swarm around and the fire's going on.
Yeah, in fact, tell you what, I'm going to use a playbook move here. I think Casto will call over the comm to Break and say, "Well, Break, you've got us into this mess. I trust you to get us out of it.
You're the only two ships out. You're the only two TIE pilots out of the who've deployed from the bay.
Exactly. I'm going to say you go on. You engage the Corvette and see if you can disable the tractor beam. I'll keep the rebel scum off your back. I'm using my Be Brave move here, which is when you challenge a PC to put aside their fears and do something daring. Offer them +1 and going to seek out that goal. If they take it, I gain 2 hold.
Nice. Is that on your playbook move sheet?
It is, yes.
Yeah, cool. Cool. So that means I think you just take that, don't you?
I think it's my choice, and I think I think that sounds great.
Yeah. Okay, so I think this is an strike out at someone or an act with desperation, depending on how you engage with the these X-Wings fights. The camera cuts across to the most like vicious looking Trandoshan pilot. Like they really hammed up the makeup on the rebel pilots to make them like the scum villainy of the universe. It's like orcs in Lord of the Rings, basically.
They have like spikes and piercings and like fins and stuff. Yeah.
Cuts to back on the ship, and you hear the ambassador clutch the Moss, clutch Morero's shoulder, right, like in fear, and say, "The rebel scum! I hear they work with the slavers, not the sanctioned one." And then they'll see him from Beskyn go, "Not the sanctioned ones, of course. They're unlicensed slavers." Spits on the ground. Yeah. And we cut back to Break as the targeting computers and everything. Which one is it? Are you going to try and evade, or are you going to take them down?
So I'm heading straight in. I'm trying to get past them towards the shuttle so that I can disable the tractor beam.
Nice. Okay. So act with desperation, I think, to lose them, to break through their blockade, basically, and begin your attack run on the ship.
So that sounds perfect. I think I'm acting with vengeance.
Mm-hmm. We see out of session move, don't we? Sorry, I forgot about that.
I was just about to say I have a start of session move. At the beginning of each session, decide who you want revenge on and how you're going to punish them. That's going to be Major Wall Marrera.
Nice.
And I'm going to punish him by making him look foolish in front of his superiors. And I roll with the questions below. I do not get my playbook question. Have I recently been pleasant with them? I don't think so, because we've been antagonistic from our background. Are things going well for them? They're not anymore. And did you target someone else last session? And let's say sure. You're the new target. So I think I roll with a +1. So let's roll that. 2d6 +1. And that's a 6. What happens on a fail? I hold 1. If I spend it, the GM tells me who catches me once it's done. And I can spend hold on show up somewhere unexpected, secretly overhear something critical, and secretly tamper with something quickly. Okay, so let's go back to that fight where I act with desperation. And I think I'm doing this for vengeance, and it's according to the plan. Which is my question, my playbook question. So I think I'm rolling with a +2 plus your ongoing arrow. So I think that's a +3. And I rolled a 6 again, so that is a fail.
Okay. Yeah, you know, arrows covering you. In X-wing flies past. Arrow leads it off away, right? And you push through the blockade, but as you're beginning your attack and you're lining up on the tractor beam, and you're gonna, you've got it. You're about to you do a flyby of the shuttle, and you're about, the Moff like looks out and goes like, "Who's that hotshot pilot in the ship?" They're gonna, and the ambassador's like, oh, "They're gonna rescue us." And you're coming in lined, you've got your target computers blipping, and then that's when like a turret deploys from the inside of the Corvette, right, and then just like drops down and then just goes and strafes up your ship, stitching you with. I'm going to ask you to make another move in a second when I cut back to you, which is going to be face certain death, I think.
Okay.
Because in this game, certain death is certainly not the end. So I think as we cut back onto the ship, the shuttle, it's being pulled in. It's got that whole kind of like, as the Millennium Falcon gets brought into the Death Star, right? And there's like the shadow going over it, and it's coming in, and it all locks in, and it's all dark on the outside. And then you hear a Wookiee's roar, and the subtitles come in saying, Imperials, like surrender and be ground beneath the heels of the rebellion. We will not be choked by your laws and your rules. Come out, weaklings. And the hatch begins to be cut through. ID 11, Major Wall, do you have anything?
I don't know if this is the intent of the move, but I was thinking of saying, based on my analysis, okay. Give him a minute here to come back on. Oh, should probably keep talking so we can tell if Rich can hear us. Hey,
Yes,
Rich.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Hey, Rich.
that was so weird. Everything was great, and then it wasn't. You can hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you fine, yeah.
Back to backup. Jeez, crackers.
So I think after the Wookiee is done, making all sorts of dire pronouncements against what they'll do to our corpses and our next of kin and whatever, kind of lead over to Major Wall and say, Major Wall, the Wookiee is bluffing. He has fear in his voice. My audio sensors have analyzed it. He cannot back up this threat. And the thing I was going to say, I don't know if it's a move. Am I accusing the Wookiee of lying, or is it? I mean, he's not a PC, so I don't think it.
I tell you what, let's have it. The back of the shuttle is cut open, right? Like it opens up. And as it starts to cut, the Moff just says enough of this and presses the button, right, and it just slides open, and he steps out with his pistol, expecting you guys to back him up. And so now you've got like the dramatic confrontation in public with the array of like rebel scum versus the few brave Imperials holding a line in the shuttle bay, right? Like it's going to be a thing, and you're going to now accuse someone of lying to their face.
Yes,
that works. So yeah, I'll come out in front of the Moff even then in that case, and show the superiority of our Imperial technology. It's able to do these sorts of things and come out and say the same thing right to the Wookiee, strike whatever an imposing droid kind of pose would be. I definitely have an audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Do I have evidence? I mean, I just made up evidence, so
I would
no. Yes. Take a half point.
No, I don't think you do.
But I am in.
Because one of the results, right, is you are right despite what the audience has already seen. So I think naturally, sort of, this is one of the things of the experiment, right? Is that I think the game obviously assumes that you're playing not droids with lie detector technology. Yeah.
But I am in over my head, as are we all.
You are in over your head, 100%. Yeah. So you definitely get that one.
Wow. Okay. 14.
Okay. So on a 10 plus.
Bad. bad.
You can choose to.
You know what? I think it's hilarious if he has to admit his falsehood or market condition. So I'll throw that one. And yeah, you're right. Despite what the audience has already seen, even though we are completely overwhelmed by their numbers and their fierceness because they're such vile, feral animals, these rebels, they can't take us because we're Imperials.
Yeah, you float forward and you say that, and I think that's when like Marrero, joins the front line, and like the other, I think even Lieutenant Enos props himself, comes staggering out, like leaning out of the ship, like brave look on his face, holding his blaster pistol. And like this ragtag band of Imperials faces off against it, and some of them step back. Like, so they can't help but admit it because, the rebel scum surrounded around you are actually thrown back by the sheer bravery of these Imperial officers outnumbered. And the Wookiee roars in frustration. We cut back to, Casto, you're leading away this thing, and then you just see Brake's ship spiral and fly off like into going like wildly like Darth Vader's ship at the end of Star Wars. I think I'm going to first ask Stephen to roll face certain death. So
Fantastic. So that is plus conditions, and I have no conditions.
yeah,
so that's
exactly.
Just a flat roll.
Yeah, there's very little I think that will actually, it's unlikely that you'll have to take one of these things.
So that is a 6.
But that's a good one actually. On a miss, your death was less certain than we thought. Tell us about your daring escape. I think I think one thing we have is like a missile coming toward, as you're flying away, spiraling away, a missile lock is on you and you can't maneuver out of the way of it, right? So,
and I think what we see is the tie itself goes around the corner of the hangar, and we see the missile go around the corner and explode. But off screen, it hit the hull of the Corvette as I veered back away. And how far into narration should I go?
I mean, I think that'd be a perfect point for like the TV show, right? The audience just sees you fly off an explosion and the Corvette shakes and shudders inside, right? And
Exactly.
Yeah, on the coming through on Lieutenant Arrow's comms, we just hear Quiros say, "We've lost contact with Tempest 5." And I think Commander Conway, his voice comes over the thing. Casto, keep them busy. We're nearly with you. Don't let them go to hyperdrive.
Of course, sir. I'll keep them. I'll keep them where they are. And yeah, I think Castor's going to start, strafing down the Corvette to try and keep it keep it busy, keep it.
So I think this is strike out at someone.
Yep, certainly.
The rebels.
The questions for this are: have you caught them off guard? I don't think so, probably, because we've already had like a run against this ship, so I think they're probably aware of us in general at this stage. Have they just rung due? Of course, they've just taken out my loyal crewmate. So
is this going to be
have. I mean, honestly, yes. I think this is Casto is an adrenaline junkie. I think we kind of see the glee of combat in his eyes as he bears down on the Corvette.
Yeah, it has that thing of like it shows you the TIE fighter helmet as it's coming in, and then it flickers, like to show you the inside of the TIE, like half the TIE fighter helmet, half the smile on your face as you come in.
Yeah, exactly.
So roll +2, I think.
Sure thing. Sorry, do we have a dice roller? Or actually, no, we've got.
Chaos, underneath the-
Excellent. Oh, yeah, no, there we go. Cool. Thank you very much.
Just realized I chose a highlight color that is already in use in the auto formatting of the thing.
And that is a 10.
And so on a 10 plus, so when I hit, your strike lands and you each mark a condition. On a 10 plus, you may also take something from them or avoid marking a condition.
Ooh. I think I want to take something from them here. And I think that what I want to take from them is their escape route. I think we see kind of an explosion around like the engines of the ship as their hyperdrive unit is detonates.
Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million. Conway's voice comes in off the off the radio. You took out their hyperdrive, and we cut into the inside of the ship. And I think, the rebels are panicking now. The red alert's going off. The only thing, the rest of them are all fleeing like the cowards that they are, scurrying for like rats off a ship, right? A sinking ship, literally. Jumping into smaller vessels and everything in the hangar, leaving you behind, apart from this Wookiee. And the Wookiee is, you recognize, Kerm the Bloody, rebel terrorist, known for feasting on the flesh of his captives. A horrific carnivore and cannibal, like all Wookiees are, which, is ISB propaganda because Wookiees are actually herbivores. But yeah. So anyway. Marrero, what are you going to do?
I've been broken down. If only I had my thugs with me, but I guess I'll have to take care of this myself.
I mean, if you want to frame it as you and your thugs fight off like the Wookiee and a bunch of them, I think that could work.
Cool.
We just cut back a second.
Yeah, who knows? They're just there. I'll send them to rough up a target.
They were not seen in any of the shots of the inside of the shuttle.
Exactly. How did they get here?
Right? Like, yeah. No one said it was a well-produced Holonet.
I went and argued with the director, and he was like, "Okay, fine. He's fine." There they are. God.
Exactly.
Geez.
Yeah.
So he sends them after to rough up a target, and it is not an easy assignment. But I think they're rested in good health, if that's all right. I think that seems.
Yeah.
And I am taking control of the situation, so I have a +2.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think the setup from the other characters, like strikes against the rebels, have definitely put you in a position to take control of the situation. The rebels.
Squeak! That is a 7.
Target chooses 1. The crew makes a clear demand. Your target gives you a crew what you're looking for. The crew beats up your target. The crew reminds your target where their loyalty lies. The target gives up something to appease them. I think that you do drive off this Wookiee. Because I also think that what you've done here is you've prove the Empire's might, right? So you put yourself in a position to demand what you deserve from Quirm, who is running terrified of Major Wal Marrero now. The Wookiee. Describe to me how you beat the. You've got the Wookiee on the. On the wrong foot, basically. You've got the upper hand.
Oh, I think what happens is we see not a stormtrooper, but maybe Incows. Like he comes up against the Wookiee, and the Wookiee like grabs and bites into his neck like a vampire, and blood squirts at the camera, and Incows falls to the ground, and we hear the sad music. Major Wal Marrero steps forward, and he has, of course, his little pew pew but it's really about the stormtroopers that come rushing out, and they're beat on. The Wookiee climbs away, and then there's an explosion, and he
I
disappears.
mean, this is a holonovela, right? You can unlike any actual Star Wars character, you could beat a Wookiee in a hand-to-hand combat.
Oh
you could
yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I
Is
sent
he
my
fucking
thug, so
hitting
I'll let the
100%?
troopers do it, but because
Yeah.
you know
I think
that's
you can say you're fighting alongside them. Yeah.
yeah, I'm there. I'm in
Yeah.
there with it. That sounds
Yeah.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I don't need to set this to stun. He holsters it again, beats down the Wookiee. The Wookiee looks up and he's got blood on his mouth. Is
Yeah,
it his? Is it
back away.
Inkow's?
Yeah, it backs away as the ship begins to, he's terrified. And Enkau's, come on, we gotta go. As the Fervor comes into range and like locks onto the Corvette. And you know what? I think we will actually say that's what happens, is that you've captured the everyone on the rebel ship scrambles to the escape pod, tries to escape, and the Fervor turbo laser just blows up the first escape pod as it comes in. And we cut back to the Emperor's Fervor as Commander Conway is debriefing the TIE fighter pilots and saying, thanks to the heroic actions of looks off pain in the distance, Lieutenant Brake and Lieutenant Casco, Nordlinger, we see we managed to capture the entire ship. The rebel scum are waiting in the brig. The Moff wasn't harmed, and neither were any of the delegates. It's another victory for the Empire here, and we owe it all to those brave pilots. And then that's when the camera pans over to Brake sat in the back, not dead at all, just part of the debrief as well, right? So you are now basically, the Fervor is in orbit above J-Zane 5. Doran and the ambassador are gonna make their case to the Moff for the citizens of J-Zane 5 have to pay the moon, their mineral-rich moons being cracked open by Beshtek. Does Beshtek get the exclusive rights? That's the sort of wider thing. But yeah, you've captured Quem the Bloody. He's sitting in your brig cells on the ship. And yeah, what I would like to now offer you guys the opportunity to pursue your own ambitions on the ship, right? Having set up some of that, like your dramatic action there, ID-11 having proven to be an effective, piece of technology that much in demand, and having really worked out for his boss, Major Wal Marrero. So I'm going to ask ID-11, is there any scene you would like to put up, any agenda you would like to pursue?
Part of me wants to go to Brake and like totally snitch on whatever just happened. I don't know if there's anything useful for her, but also I kind of want to go to Arrow and brag about how good I did. So
Yeah.
either one of you has a scene that would involve me, put me there and I'm good.
I also want to set it up, by the way, that you guys can feel free to instigate scenes from NPCs. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be your character went to them. It can be the NPC came to you, if that's how you want to frame it, kind of stuff like it. Because we're all playing the audience of the show more than we're playing anything else, right? Like, so yeah. Which one do you want to go for? I think either Castor or Brake would be willing to be your confidant in this situation.
Do either one of you have a thing that you would need me for? And we could hit 2 with 1. We could hit 2 rebels with 1 blaster shot.
Nothing in specific from me, but
Okay.
I'm certainly happy to.
So I have a question. Someone discovered that the Moff was sending coded messages, but we don't know what that was. That you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's bring that up now. So yes, that's one of the things I wanted to deal with.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
So, oh, let's pick a location. Are you on the flight deck still? Is this immediately afterwards, or you in the quarters? Are you at detention yelling at this Wookiee scum?
I think I'm in. I think I'm in the break room for the officers, which I'm not technically allowed in anymore.
All right. I I go where I want. I go where I want. I work here. I'm a functionary. I don't need to worry about being in this break room. Yeah,
And
so I
you're
just
the most important droid on the ship. I'm just saying.
thanks, buddy.
Mhm.
So yeah, okay, I'll find you there. Drinking your calf or whatever you're doing, and just kind of looking like, oh, this is just a routine. I'm scanning around, I'm getting information. And like, do we have like a code phrase to let you know, like, hey, we need to talk?
I think you just come up to me and tell me that the coast is clear.
Which coast? What are we? Okay, that nobody's here.
That
We're
no one
alone?
is listening.
Okay.
No one is listening, and then you proceed to tell me what you need to.
Hey, it's Star Wars, right? So
Yeah.
you engage a privacy shield, right? Like one
Oh
of the
yeah,
features
I
of
got
the
one of those.
ID11 is a comm jamming, bug jamming device, right?
I love that. Comm jammers are activated, Lieutenant. I did not witness any other suspicious activity from the Moth on the shuttle.
It is suspicious though that number one, the Corvette knew exactly where the Moth was, and number two, everyone got away okay. I mean, did the Moth? Was there any time that you lost sight of the Moth where he could have passed information to the rebels without us knowing?
I hate to admit to a flaw, but he's very. The Moth is very wily. It is possible. Or, as you suggest, the whole thing could have been an attempt for him to be abducted.
To join back with the Rebel Alliance, and we were just too good to and prevented them from being able to pull that off. Good job, ID11. So, I think we should involve someone else in this story. I'm going to go directly to Major Wall Marina. ID11, let's go find him.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And I'll give you the briefing of he acquitted himself very well. He stepped up, took charge. He defeated a Wookiee almost single-handedly. Like he looked really good. I know the things between you two are not on the best terms, but he's putting himself in the good graces of the Moth for whatever that's worth for the time being.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I'm sure he's a hero. And where do we think the Major is?
It's a great question. Oh man, I'm like falling into Star Trek vibes. Like, is it a Tim Porter?
You want you to fall into Star Trek vibes and then just shift it to an Imperial Star Destroyer instead. You know?
Yeah, would the Imperial Star Destroyer have a like officer's lounge?
I
Does it-
would
it does.
yeah, I would propose that it would have like a bar, an officer's bar, simply because this is propaganda, right? So they want everybody to think that we're just living it up and it'll be great. So
Good. Good. I'm glad that we all approve of this silliness.
Moving past the massage tables, and then
The pleasure droids, yeah.
And he's sitting back with like a Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster, and he's regaling the big fight against the Wookiee. Of course, then Incows. Emperor rest his soul. Was murdered by the cannibal. It's all I could do to avenge his death. ID11. It's excellent to see you.
I can vouch for the entirety of the Major's story, gentlemen and ladies. He was incredible.
And I think so I step up to you and I say, you know, there are many good soldiers who were sacrificed due to the rebels finding us. It almost took my life as well, but I was lucky to have escaped, and only with a small amount of damage to my ship. How did you and yours get away so cleanly?
Wow. It's like Lieutenant Brake. I think that accusation needs to be answered. He'll stand up and splash the Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster in your face. And then, boom, his fist is coming right at you. Boom.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I'm going to say that there's one of your thugs is here, like as your sort of your dog's body kind of thing. That's the only way that you're
sure, for sure.
Yeah. So, I think SP814 is sitting holding like your dress clothes.
Nice. Way to go, Slip.
Yeah. So yeah.
By the way, I just want to pause for a moment and congratulate myself for finding the sexiest version of a stormtrooper wearing his helmet is LB. That is the sexiest
smoldering stormtrooper.
That is a hot stormtrooper look right there. I'm just saying. Saying.
Passionate stormtrooper. So I don't think that we quite got to accuse someone of lying to your face for break. Went right up to that line, right? Like innuendo, but I do think we've just got to strike out someone with Major Wal Marrero.
If we want to walk it back to allow space for Stephen's move, okay.
Yeah, that's
great.
Yeah.
Have I caught you off guard?
Yes.
Do we feel that I was that you wronged me? Because the move didn't fire, so it was just an insinuation.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it didn't count as lying.
Yeah, exactly. If it doesn't count for your move, I shouldn't get a benefit for it.
Okay.
But I am taking control of the situation with punching.
Yeah.
So. Oh, that's an 11. Holy crap. On a hit, your strike lands and you each market condition. What?
Oh, wait. Yeah. Keep going.
Oh, that's true. On a 10+, I cannot mark a condition. No, I am going to choose to mark a condition. I'm going to mark Raging, which gives me a +1 to strike out, but a -2 to spot something. I'm mad. I'm so mad.
I'll say that in this game, marking conditions is actually like, who cares? Right? You know what I mean? Like it just makes it more dramatic.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think it's brilliant. Yeah, because you get a benefit on one thing, but it like hones you in, and I think it's really brilliant. I remember the first time I saw it at the Origins. This has blown my mind. Didn't love rolling with questions, but
I don't think I've ever taken the don't mark a condition option. It's
like... yeah, so I'm marking condition, but I am taking something from you. And Break, I think what I'm taking from you is your ability to accuse me of lying in this scene. Like I've embarrassed you. I've tilted the scene. Does that feel fair?
Yeah. And I'm trying to think what my response would be. Oh, my response is to act with indignation. I took the condition spiteful, and I stepped back, and I'm like, "You jumped to."
Lieutenant Kiro steps in between the pair of you. By the Emperor, sirs, stop it. You can't fight in the war room.
And I say, I was not implying anything. I was trying to give you an example to tell more of your heroic story.
Well, Lieutenant.
As I kind of wipe the, hit where you hit me, I kind of wipe it and.
Mark my words, or you'll be grounded again. Watch your tongue. And I'll turn crisply and walk away.
Yeah, I like that. You got to flounce out after a big dramatic scene, right?
Yes, flounce out.
I think I follow you with sort of a look back, regretfully at Break, just like, I guess I have to go with you now.
A nice glare. I glare in that direction.
Yes. Do you want revenge? Come on.
Oh, you do get the chance to have revenge, don't you? Um, so, David, is there anything that you would like to frame? Any agenda you would like to pursue?
That's a good question. I think
I think, you know, the ship's still like it's the Star Trek. We're overseeing the negotiations between whatever, right? Between like the Imperial Corporation that's seeking to, not exploit, develop the moons of J-Zane 5, and the locals who are begging for their moons not to be, the cost of doing business with the Empire, basically. And the Moff's overseeing that, and there are rumors on the ship that someone accused the Major of disloyalty, and that that there is this suggestion that somebody may have colluded with the rebels. Like it was a trap the whole time, right?
Yeah.
You marked a condition.
I
One thing
did.
Did you want to become obsessed with doing something meaningful?
Yeah,
Which
I was
uh,
wondering that. In fact, yeah, tell you what, I'm going to choose my secret heart. I'm going to choose to save J-Zane 5 from a terrible fate.
missing out on the opportunities offered by Beshtek.
Yeah, well, yeah. The terrible fate of being overrun by rebels, which will obviously surely happen if they do not side with the Empire.
Yeah, I mean,
and I did mark the righteous condition as well, so that feels on brand. It's
yeah. I think the tension in my vague idea of the show is that like there's the playing it straight version bit of it, and then there's a subversive rebel message that it slips into it, right? And it's never a bit you want to pursue at the time.
Yes.
So yeah, of course, save J-Zane 5 from the terrible fate of falling to chaos and the rebellion.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so that's the formatting seems to have gone a bit weird on that one.
Yes, it does. I must have deleted a break space in there somewhere. But yes, I think that what I will be
you know what I'm going to say is that you're flying patrol, right? And this doesn't have to be a scene that you involve yourself in directly, but as you're flying patrol, you see a ship fly by, like part of the general traffic of J-Zone 5, people visiting the delegation, and you recognize that ship. It seems to be flying with a different transponder, but it is a Hapen luxury yacht, formally registered to an ambassador from Hapes that you now know to be the secret identity of the Pirate Queen, having fought her in the past. So you know that the Pirate Queen is here on J-Zane 5 as part of those things, So whether you want to pursue that or not, that's just as it goes past on the scanners and everything and like goes up on your face and you see the camera flashes back to, you chasing that exact yacht, right, through an asteroid field, right, as you flirted with each other across the comms. But yeah.
Yeah,
Any
awesome.
you want to do?
I think I'm going to go for I think we see kind of Arrow's ship kind of pull out of his standard patrol route and kind of drops in, like almost to that point where, like, if TIE fighter cockpits were in any way sensibly designed, you could maybe like look out the side and like see into the cockpit of the luxury yacht, but obviously it can't.
Directly in front of you.
But kind of hails over the comm and says, well, this seems an awfully nice ship to be hauling a cargo of nerfs in. Maybe we should go over to the customs impound lot together.
Well, or maybe we can share a delicious meal of prime nerf together again, Lieutenant Casto.
I thought I'd recognize those lines anywhere. It's good to see you again, Your Majesty.
And I think the little hologram face maybe comes up on the side of the thing just for dramatic, like two heads to heads kind of thing on each of the ships. The pirate queen, beautiful without her mask, looking pristine, and she says, "You are speaking to an authorized member of the Trade Federation. I'm here to negotiate with Beshkin Sim for the rights for the moon. Nothing piratey, no pirate queen here." And I hear that the rebels may even be in attendance. I thought you'd have bigger plans.
I can't think of any plans more important at the moment than speaking with you. But
do you want to express your love passionately?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Let's express your love passionately. As I'm imagining, like, you're flying alongside the yacht as it like goes through this. This is a resort world, so it's like all beautiful vistas and like valleys and ludicrously like it's a really like pristine kind of like, these are the good people that we're here to protect kind of scene from the Empire. And so I think you're doing the whole ballet of ships flying together, right, as you go across. So let's see that express love passionately. Are you dressed to impress? I think that you are in your uniform and your ship, pristine, unscratched. You didn't even take a single scratch in that last fight.
Yeah, and I think that Val's uniform is probably like tailored even more so than is standard for kind of Imperial issue. It's that kind of tight
rest TIE pilot uniform.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Sorry.
They believe that you are single. I think they do.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
+2.
I think because I have changed the move I've just taken has changed my standard question to being, are you steadfastly following your secret heart? And I could maybe parlay this into that, but I don't think I am currently. Okay. So I think that's probably just the +2.
But is it going to be fun?
No, sorry. I think that replaces that question.
Your question just changed. Sorry, I thought it was optional.
Yeah, no, I think it changes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so just a +2.
Oh, that's a 6.
That's a 6. I think what she's going to do is, well then, you'll have to keep up, Flyboy. And she takes you on a winding route, through like caverns and caves and everything, right? But she outflies you. And I'm going to have you mark another condition.
Certainly. I think I at this point have to mark lustful. Definitely.
Yeah, all that's left is just laughing over the comms as you come out where you thought you would intercept her, and there's just a dot off in the distance as she flies away to her secret rendezvous with whatever she's doing.
And I think Val just goes, "Playing hard to get, are we, Your Majesty?" And begins doing like a sensor sweep of the area.
Nice. I think we'll cut away from that then, and I will ask Major Marrero, what do you think you do after being accused of this? Where do we next see? What's the next scene featuring Major Marrero or his thugs?
Yeah, I think with ID at his so Arrow's like off, and that's what I want.
Arrow can be anywhere, don't worry about it.
That's true.
We're not in any kind of logical or dedication to time or narrative, right? We are cutting in between scenes in a TV show, 100%.
So I was just looking at the executive staff here, seeing if there were advantages for him. I
think you probably. I don't think you quite got to prove your loyalty to the Moff and the Empire in that order, because that's specifically
the
Moff rather than duty.
Yes, that seems right. But we're hearing rumors about the Moff, or I'm trying to make sure I'm not.
I don't think anyone knows about the Moff unless it's said out loud.
You were the subject of those rumors that were mentioned.
That's true. It's true.
But I do have information if you want to get rumors about the Moff.
Yeah, I think that sounds like the scene I'd like to have. Is Major Wal Marrero heads past the bunks where his squad is and goes back to his office, and ID attends him.
They all salute you as you go past,
Of course they do.
There's an empty bunk, for the one who died when the Wookiee killed.
No, that was Inkhouse wasn't one of my thugs. Oh, yeah, but yeah, we'll say one of my. Yeah, I had 7, now I got 6. It's all good. Who cares about continuity? Yeah, I lost a guy to that murderous cannibal. It sounds amazing. And then come into his office. I think it looks very Mass Effect captain's quarters. It's sleek. It's got little doodad military bits of there's a Lambda class shuttle model there, and one of the TIE Advanced models. There's other little stuff on the shelf, and a number of made up medals that are on a display. And he kind of sits down dramatically in his executive chair, and he says, ID, I need your expertise. I think the Moff needs to understand our value. Understand my meaning?
No, tell me more about that.
Moff Truman, we had an opportunity to defend him, and I'm not entirely sure he's appreciative of our efforts. Is there anything you have that could convince Moff Truman of our importance?
You acquitted yourself marvelously Major Marrero. You have nothing to worry about. I'm sure the Moff sees you as the important leader of the empire that you are.
True. He should, but he doesn't. Unless I misunderstand the situation, ID.
If he doesn't understand that, then it's a mistake on his part. Even such a esteemed personage as the Moff makes mistakes. Why else would he feel the need to send out unregistered communications if he wasn't thinking that they may be sent erroneously?
He reaches out and he kind of caresses the side of ID's aperture there. You okay, Keith? Is that too
Are you
much?
rolling to turn me on?
I don't think I can. It's a different game, but I think it's just weird enough to be a thing that he does. You don't say. Tell me more about this, ID. What unsanctioned communications Moff Truman been participating in?
They're coded and sent to a unregistered recipient that even I don't have access to.
Coded? As if that's even a trifle for someone like you. ID 11. Surely you can decode those messages so we can understand what is it that he's communicating. Is Agent Sanyard aware of what's going on? ISB agent,
no.
sorry.
Yeah.
No, Major. She is not.
We don't want to waste our time with something that's unfounded. That's why I need you to decode these messages, find out exactly what we're dealing with. Are you sure that it came from Moff Truman? You didn't have Lieutenant Karaz send it, because I don't like the cut of a jib at all.
She may have been involved. I will need to analyze the situation.
That's what I'm asking you to do. That's what only you could do, ID 11.
I desperately want to do this for you, Major.
Are you asking to So I think you're asking to do the Moff, right? Like, it doesn't seem as though ID has any conflict there. But if you're saying, like, my preferred outcome would be that it's Cat Break, who ID 11 has some loyalty to. I think that is a demanding what you
That
deserve.
sounds fun. Okay.
So I think you're demanding what you deserve from ID 11, in the style of all people with some level of power, and saying, like, I want you to look into this, but here is what I want you to find when you do this.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, if you just want me to look into it, you have seduced me enough. But if you are trying to
yes, Moff
manipulate
Truman.
the outcome,
We need Moff Truman's trust, and therefore we must protect him from all threats. I want you to look into this, decode the message, and I want it to point at Lieutenant Brake. See? She is the perfect.
In those messages. Yeah.
who did this and why was it Break?
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
make Brake our patsy, and then Moff Truman will be most impressed with your efforts.
So, are you offering something of value in return?
No.
No,
I don't think I have anything.
No, I think you're kind of playing off your pitch has just been the ownership of the droid, kind of taking it for granted sort of style, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But do they love you in this moment? I believe Keith has you chosen as their
Yeah,
patron,
literally,
right?
it's a mechanic. I already do.
Yeah, you did say that out loud, and then I am taking control of the situation.
I can't wait to see you roll with one or you're not. I mean, it's not a thing for you.
Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, it's spot something that I have a minus on. I just rolled like poop.
Wow, you really did.
I tried to make Break bad. I had even a good joke.
Yeah, it wasn't that good. That's probably
It was. Yeah, that's why. I have only myself to blame.
You just got what you deserved with that, I think.
I think so. Yeah, 6.
I'd like you to mark a condition, Rich.
And I think I respond with like, the analysis will show what the analysis shows. My circuits are determined to find out what is actually happening here, Major. I must have misunderstood you.
Find the truth. Well, figure out what to do with the truth once we know it. But this stays between you and I. I am your owner. You will behave. And I am marking righteous as my condition.
And I think the last shot is of you pointing that finger reflected in the lens of the pro droid, right?
Yeah.
Like, looking out at it.
You know he's going to take whatever you give him and just point it at break. He's just going to do find, replace, and then submit the report.
These pronouns don't even line up. It's a really weird report.
Right.
Break. Speaking of ISB agent Isanyard, where does she find you?
I think she finds me in the hallway. Before we get started on this scene, I would like to make a mid-session wish and say, I want to see the reveal of shocking truth come out from that last.
Oh yeah, cool. That's a good one. Yeah.
Oh, how long do we have left in the session?
20 minutes, but
okay.
Basically, I tell you what, I will speed through the scene of Sanyard as she just comes to, all that she does is the scene is just you step away from Commander Conway congratulating you and Casto on I think you both got control of him there, for like winning the day for Tempest Squadron. Basically, you've got the ally on your side. And as you step out into the corridor, she's there and she leans in close and she says, I can trust you. You've shown that you're willing to do it, put it all on the line. This rebel spy among the crew, you're the only one I can trust. And as she says that to break, the camera's on her. We cut across to Lieutenant Casto sitting in probably at a different time, right? As Sanyard says exactly the same thing to Lieutenant Casto. You're the only one I can trust. There's a rebel spy among the crew. I need you to find it out. Nobody else. You can't trust anybody else on here.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, you've both been told exactly the same story. Somebody on here is a rebel spy, and you're the only people that she's talked to. So, the reveal of shocking truth, that would be a good one about all of this. We've only got 15 minutes to go. I am going to end this thing. I think we're going to end this thing on cliffhangers, right? And it's going to be next time on rather than epilogues, and we're going to see scenes of how it all falls together. Does anyone have a scene that they would really like to do?
Yeah, I do. And yeah. I like the idea of it being a cliffhanger. And I think, so are we pushing to epilogues and this is kind of like next time on?
Yeah, I think so at this point in time.
Fantastic. Yeah. So I think next time on, and we see Break in like the hallway and has managed to catch the moth's attention and leans over and tells him, and is in deep conversation, and we catch the words, it's suspicious that the rebels knew exactly where to find you, and if I had to put money on it, I would think it would be Major Moreno. And I think that you should root out this spy now. And I think that's where it cuts. Next time on.
Yeah, as the moth inscrutably looks back at you, like serious faced. Yeah, next time on, you've gone straight to the moth with your concerns. If anyone has another scene in terms of like actual play that they want to do feel free. But otherwise, I'm going to ask you all in turn, like next time on and we will leave it on that basically. So, ID 11.
I would love to have been able to roll with Break's question, but I don't really see anything that pops up immediately, and it would be quick.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can offer you something. Um,
Gonna reveal a shocking truth.
yeah, you could reveal a shocking truth that's according to the plan, and you could use that question.
Yeah, okay, we give it a try here.
Yeah.
That's under other moves, right? Let's see. Real
Yes.
juke. But there are not.
You do much
questions
better
there.
when you've got conditions marked.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't replace a question with yours because there's no questions.
Oh, okay.
So I think instead of actually revealing the truth this time, I'm okay with the next time on.
Okay.
So Rich or David, if you want to do a scene before that, go ahead.
I'm like in next time on mode, so I'm good. If somebody wants the scene, take it.
Same.
Then go for next time on, Keith.
Okay. I think you see the ID-11 is scomped into something somewhere on the ship with, ominous lighting, and there's whirs and buzzes and then says, "My analysis has revealed even more exciting information than we were hoping to find, Master." And the camera pans back, and you see Arrow standing behind with one hand draped on top of ID.
Nice. Arrow, do you have a scene? Last time on?
Sorry, I just realized that was me. Yes, I think I think we see
The problem with call names, right, is that you have to remember the call name as well as the character name, as well as your name, right? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think we have we see a scene in a kind of nondescript ship's corridor, where we kind of get like a shot on the Pirate Queen, and then we see kind of Casto there, in his flight suit with his helmet off, pointing a gun at a rebel pilot in this sort of orange jumpsuit, pointing a gun back at them. Entirely unclear as to why neither of them are in their ships, but and I think that's kind of the next time on that we see for them.
And the rebels shot from the back, so we may not see who their face is, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
But when you look at the hair, it's totally
The fans have diagrammed everything, and they've looked real closely at, like, that's not like the ship, that's not the Star Destroyer, that's something else. And are they on a rebel ship? And
Turns out it was just that the continuity errors made it so it was impossible to tell.
And Major Wal Marrero?
Yeah, Major Wal Marrero it's totally a shocker next time on that turns out to be the pull the rug out from under thing, but it's Major Wal Marrero, and he's standing there and he's wearing like a Moff's uniform and looking out, and he says, "Moff Marrero has a nice ring to it."
Nice. I love that, particularly because in a future episode it could just turn out to be dress up, right?
Totally dress up in front of a mirror. That's absolutely the
Amazing. Yeah, and I think the next time on that we see otherwise is of a big stack of credits sliding across a table, and a counting hand coming up, and it pans up to Moff Truman's face, and he says, Yes, I think that's everything we agreed upon. And then you see the Pirate Queen shackled to the table as a alien thug steps out of the darkness and cuts away to the credits of the Empire's Passion. And that's Passion de l'Empereur.
amazing.
I don't think there's end of session moves in Pasiones de Pasiones, as far as I can see.
There is one for you with the end of session. Pick a PC that has at least one mark condition. Tell the table what the audience hopes to learn about their story next time. and they get
Oh.
to clear a condition.
Okay. I think I would say break, actually, and I think that what we would want to find out is the audience wants them to find out that it was Casto who ruined their career. You know. In fact, we have that moment of like you're in Sard's office and there's a data pad left open and it has like report from Lieutenant Valero Casto, officer break is using blah blah blah, where they grassed you up completely. Next time on. So wave goodbye to the internet. I'd like to have a quick debrief about this game. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that.
For sure.
I hope you enjoyed that. I didn't think we would finish it given the time, but it was certainly a very fun experience of Pasiones de Pasiones, my first time running it. So
it's great. You did a great first time. I'll stop the recording here. Thank you, Will, for running it.